Because we have an incompetent president, an inefficient commander-in-chief, and he says, oh no, you can't call the president incompetent on here. You have to watch your language. You have to be civil. I said, what's uncivil about saying the president is incompetent when he's incompetent? It's a description. It's a statement of fact. He doesn't have the competence to do what he's supposed to do, and that's why the insurgency is increasing. So with that, he kept back and forth, and I continued to explain the question. And because at the end of the day, it's because we have an incompetent president, a clueless president, a corrupt president, an inept president, and a failure, and that's it. There are no two ways about it. However, you don't want to hear it doesn't mean that it is not what is happening. That's the reason why, as you are watching me right now, your heart is beating that you might be the next victim. That's the reason why you don't know whether you'll be the next one that will be carried by kidnappers. So it's not whether you agree to say it or you don't agree to say it. It is what it is, and it's the reality that we have today. And while we're doing that back and forth, he kept saying that the office of the president, I'm like, no, the office of the citizen is higher than the office of the president. Whoever is in the office of the president got his power from the people, and the office of the people would always be higher. I will continue with that back and forth. I got to a place and I said, you know what? I'm done with this. If I'm not going to speak my voice, I'm all gone. The reason why I'm rehashing this is because I saw a tweet where a thread, rather, not just a tweet, it was actually a series of tweets in a thread where a lady was explaining and going back and forth and saying that, oh yes, Galaxy did the right thing because they are being threatened, NBC, if they shut them down, there are people who, that's where they end their living. Oh, so today we are going to talk about, we are talking about the intimidation of citizens by Buhari's government. And so she kept on saying so because of that, by the way, apologies for not coming on yesterday. I was on the road yesterday. Yesterday I was actually, and day before yesterday I was in Lagos, and then I had an evening meeting and all of that. I came back to Abuja yesterday night, and I was really tired. But for now, we're going to take it little by little. Remember, I'm still dealing with my throat. It actually hurts. I'm just being stubborn and saying I beg now. Once something must kill somebody, I can't shut my voice because of truth that it's worrying me. So please, there might be days you don't see me and all of that. Please do bear with me. So when she did this series of threats to say, oh, there are people who are employed there, if they close down the station, NBC, I'm like, wow. So all she cared about was the food that will be gotten, the payment that will be gotten. And so people are ready to be made slaves. Their poverty has been weaponized. They have been impoverished, and that impoverishment is now being used against them. As in, you see anything, we close down this thing, you won't have food to eat again, and that's it. And people are ready to go on with that life. So I realized that this weaponization of poverty is not just for the really poor people, like, for example, let's say, like, almost like in destitution, people who are really poor, but also sort of the middle class people and the average people, or even those who are not middle class, but the average person. So it has also been weaponized in this way, and that's really a shame. That's really sad that people now all think about, oh, can I just stay here so that I'll be eating this thing, so that I will have my source of income rather than spoil anything. That's the same reason why when NSAS protest was going on, people kept saying, oh, there are people, you saw people from going about their daily business. There are people who need to go about their daily business. And I'm like, these same people, if their loved one is killed by SARS and the corpse is brought home or dropped in the mortuary or whatever, they will stop that business to attend to the business of burying their loved one. But because it has not happened to them, they have very expensive empathy. They do not understand that. And so you see this whole, and even recently people are saying that, oh, you know, the Lekki toll gate, there are people who are working there, their businesses have been affected. Really, there are people who have died and are never going to come back. Their life was cut short, and those are the things that we must address. So the main topic for me today is that intimidation of citizens by Buhari's government. So people right now are afraid to speak. People right now are not allowed to speak. People right now are not, you come on, I've made up my mind. Look, like the other day I had an interview on channels. When the journalist called me and said, oh, please, can you come? I'm like, look, let me be frank with you. I'm not going to be nice. That was when they, I think that was when they carried, was it the Jengebe guests, right? Yeah, that was when they just carried them. And I was really angry. I'm like, look, I'm not going to be nice. I don't want a situation whereby you be like, oh, that's your opinion. You know, Nigeria. I'm like, what kind of human beings are this? These cowards we have as journalists. Where is NUJ? What is it doing? And I said to them, I'm not going to be nice. I'm not going to mince my words, and I'm not any. If I even agree to appear on any radio station or any TV or whatever, I'm just going to tell you. You should know I'm not going to be nice. I'm not going to mix my words. I'm going to call out the incompetence of Mohammed Buhari. I'm going to call out the incompetence of Buhari's government. I'm going to call out the cluelessness of Mohammed Buhari. I'm going to call out the cluelessness of Buhari's government. I'm going to call out the corruption of Mohammed Buhari. I'm going to call out the corruption of Buhari's government. I'm going to call out the ineptitude of Buhari. I'm going to call out the ineptitude of Buhari's government. I'm going to call out the failure of Buhari. I'm going to call out the failure of Buhari's government. I'm going to call these things out as long as these things continue. I think it was around 2016, 2017 that I coined ISIF. It was ISIF before: incompetent, clueless, inept, and a failure. And then later, with all the things that were happening, it became ISIF, double C: incompetent, clueless, corrupt, inept, and a failure. And when I would tweet all of this, the first thing that normally would happen was that people would say, "Oh no, he's not incompetent, he's not clueless, he's not this." But now they no longer say that, because it is glaring to everybody the incompetence of this government and the president. So now they no longer say that he's not incompetent, but they say we should not say he's incompetent. We should have decorum. Really? Do you have decorum in your graves? Dead people can't talk. Dead people will never talk. So I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So whatever happens, what was it that they're going to do to me? Two things: either arrest me or assassinate me. Freaking hell, I'm 47. How many people have lived to be 47? How many people have lived to have amazing life that I have? How many people have lived their dreams? How many people have lived to come where you were nothing? You probably will wake up, you don't even have food to eat, but today, alhamdulillah, you can afford 3 square meals. And even tomorrow's meal by the grace of God. How many people have and so there are a lot of my mates died before we were 20. Some of them died before we were 18. They died from childbirth. Some of them are long since gone. So I'm at 47. I've already turned 47, and I should be afraid of death. Really? Do I want to stay on this earth forever? No. Martin Luther King died over 50 years ago, but I tell you, there are some of his contemporaries that are still alive today, but nobody even knows they are alive. But the one that died over 50 years ago, they still know him. So for me, I've always said it, and I'll maintain it: death is not when you no longer breathe in oxygen or breathe out carbon dioxide. Death is actually when you cannot speak against injustice because you're afraid to die. That's for me what death is all about. The day I'll be silent, I will see the injustice that is going on. I will see Buhari's incompetence, and I will not be able to call it incompetent. Then I am dead. Forget about it. It doesn't matter whether I'm here or I'm not here. Because what's the essence of being afraid? People are afraid. People are in their houses. You see this government, they're going after organizations, they are going after people. They have gagged NBC. First of all, they gagged media. Reports don't come out. Most of the things that are happening in this government are not being reported. Most of the killings that are happening are not being reported. And now, beyond that, they have succeeded in that. It's only a little. There are so many attacks that we hear about, but they never get to the media. For me, I am one person that I'm not interested in breaking news. I've never been interested in, oh, let me be the one to, oh, breaking news, this has happened, that. No. Even when I hear these things, I don't talk about it. The only thing I talk about mainstream media, then I will say this is it, because I don't have time to first of all go and start verifying the information, checking them and all of that. So I don't break news. I don't bring news. I hear some of these things when they send me. They will send me pictures, they'll send me videos of attacks that have happened and everything. I just wait for the mainstream media to carry it on. And so all of these things it's not that they are happening. You see a lot of attacks that you hear about that have happened that never get to the mainstream media and never gets to people. So the government has succeeded in gagging media. Then the next thing that they're trying to do now is to gag individuals. So media is now being used when you're talking. I just saw a tweet just now. I don't know whether it's true or not. I haven't called Deji to confirm. I just saw a tweet where somebody said that, oh, Deji Adeyanju was on air on a radio program, and he was speaking and he called the president clueless, and then he was taken off air. Really? So the president's cluelessness should not be acknowledged as clueless, but his cluelessness is affecting us. His cluelessness is making terrorists to keep attacking us. His cluelessness, his failure, his ineptitude, his incompetence is affecting all of us. People are being carried away. School children are being carried away almost on a weekly basis, and yet it is the intimidation that is coming on by government. Jengebe girls were abducted. They were returned to their parents. They were doing all sorts of ceremony. You know, this life, no matter whatever you do in this, especially as a Nigeria, ensure you are not poor. When you're poor, you're faceless, nameless, and voiceless. When you're poor, you're cancelled. When you're poor, you're not seen as a human being. The only time you're important is when they need your thumbprint. When you're poor, they do not care about you. They do not, nothing. You're just not even a human being to them. Because how can I can't even imagine that my child was abducted, right? And then my child was brought back, and government is keeping my child for days before they bring my child for. Are you okay? Are you okay? Now they've kept these children. They finally brought them to Jengebe. They've done handing over ceremony. They are now doing another. They say they are waiting for one chief to come to do another ceremony. And so, of course, the citizens, already angry citizens that are in poverty, they are not allowed to farm. Terrorists have been disturbing them. In that Zamfara state, terrorists have been disturbing them. They've had to run away from their houses. You know, every frustrating thing that you can think about, it's already worrying them. Their children were abducted for how many days? Now their children have been brought back. Give us our children. You are still doing one ceremony or the other. And so they started getting agitated and, you know, murmuring, you know, protesting and say, oh no, this one. The next thing, soldier open fire. I think as of the last report I'm seeing 4 dead. Initially it was one that said one was killed, one in the hospital, some injured. Now I saw just before I came here, I saw a report about 4 dead. Can you imagine what kind of atrocity is that? The terrorists kidnapped girls. They haven't even killed any of the girls. Then our own government, that is also a terrorist government, is the one that is killing, that has killed citizens.